Hello world, I'm Grayson King, and this is my 3-finger technique tutorial. Probably with a whole lot of rambling. It's my 3rd tutorial in a row. I might even just shove 4-finger right in there with it. We'll see. So as a recap, 1 finger is just a drum note. I'll turn the reverb on, a little bit of amplification. You just drag it around, maybe you can change string, etc. 2-finger is just exactly what it sounds like. So there's 2 shapes to know of, the 1 shape, 2 shape. You got your 0 shape, your -2, but it's about thinking in terms of integers and shapes and patterns and sequences. I don't think about music. I just think, well, that's interesting. What's that? What vibe does that give? And can I make that do something interesting? Can I change it up? 3-finger technique just adds a 3rd finger. So for example, if we take 10 and 8 and we add the 3rd finger, the 3rd finger ends up being a 1 shape in relation to this finger. So this is a 2 shape. When we go into 3 shape, what ends up happening is, it doesn't always have to happen, because you can have that shape, you can have that shape. But ultimately speaking, you've only got a limited number of choices for where this finger can go. This 3rd finger is going to either go, it's going to maybe go here, which is quite awkward, so you're probably never going to do that. It could go here. Again, feels more awkward even for my big old hands. Now, don't get me wrong, like if you use my little finger instead, I'd reach that fine, and I'd probably reach the 3 as well. But anyway, not to show off, but I've been doing this for a long time. That's one of my only things. One of my only advantages is these crazy fingers. My weird bendy, twisty chords. So, here you see you've got your 2 shape, and you've got your 1 shape. And this is how I see 3-finger technique. Because what happens is my 1-2-2 and 1-1-2 pattern still works. So I'm on a 2 here, because the bass chord is made, bass 2 notes are made of a 2 shape. And what's interesting is when you go down into the 1 shape, now all of a sudden these become a 2. They were a 1, they become a 2, and this was a 2 and it becomes a 1. That's crazy. And so you can get some really interesting sequences. This is I think it's called a Forgiven on the Day, I think, but I never did anything with it. 2-finger technique mixed with 1-finger technique. Resolving in the 3-finger technique here. These are natural normal chords. That's like an E major shape. I added the 2 here because it's just a really nice chord. Okay, really? Don't always play very well. So this then ends up becoming into this. Okay, fine, don't play well. Why am I not playing this well? Okay, then I go into a nice little sequence of a 1 shape. All of this is in relation. If you know 2 shape, you can figure out 3 shape really easily. I don't want to tell you what's all happening and all the numbers here. All you need to know is that if you start here, 8, 7, 5 is actually a C. Okay, That's all the same notes as C, just closer together. And in this weird little, this finger shape maybe isn't natural for you, and that's fair play, but this is natural for me. This gives you a lot of options. It means that when you're in one finger shape down here, you can now add the second finger, you can add the third finger. I have an example of three-finger technique that anchors and intermixes the 1, 1, 2 and 1, 2, 2, and uses my voice in a really low way. It's very late and I'm probably not going to sing too deeply or too This one has always got a 0 shape on the A and D, but on the G I'm swapping between 2 and 1 shape in relation to the D. I'm actually in a 1, 2, 2 sequence right now. That's a 2, 1, on the other side of the 1 is a 2. Tonight there's gonna be a war. The second you come home, step through the door. Actually, the song was written in falsetto that I don't think I'm able to do anymore. I was like, tonight there's gonna be... But it's too pitchy and I have to project in, which is too late. But the sequence here then goes into the chorus. That completes the 1, 2, 2 that's left over. Later on, I come up to a 1, 1, 2, moving down a descending 1, 1, 2. Which works really nicely for this piece. So that's 17, 17, 16 to 15, 15, 14. Landing back at that chord of 14, 14, 12. All with the E playing up. So that's called To Be Gentle or something like that. Because no one seems to care for To Be Gentle. That's a really nice song. I improvise most of it when I'm live because I just don't remember what the lyrics ever were. So, three-finger technique. I have a lot of other examples of three-finger technique, but I'm going to show you four-finger technique, which is just to add the octave, you know, as well as mixing your fingers up, because, you know, like even when I'm doing this weird chord here, you know, that's a 3, 4, 5, 6. There's a beautiful song that will teach you the relationship of that by Dave Matthews, called And Another Thing, from his album Some Devil. 8, 9, 10, 11, and then he goes 7, 6, 5, 4. When I first heard that, it changed my world. I haven't got a clue how he plays that, what he does. I've never learned it properly. It's a beautiful performance as well. Beautiful. No idea what the rest of the song is. So there's always rules outside of what I talk about. You know, but it does force your style a bit. This is interesting because you can also split the string for three-finger technique. coherent example, but you get the point. It runs, it flows. I'd have to iterate and work on it. That's the entire process. Like I say, I try not to hide my these early days, so I'm going to repeat myself in every video. I try to show you the mess, you know. Plus also I cannot help myself but try random things out for the first time, and oh, that might be something. And it's like, even though it might be wrong, the instinct, that sniff in the air of like, do I smell potential here? Is there something, potentially anything that I could cling to? And if there is, great. If there isn't, well, no harm, no foul. I've got 1,000 other things to do anyway. So yeah, 3-finger technique. So one of my songs is called Shapeshifter, and it starts this way, and I nearly always mess up the intro. Then it breaks into. Then we bring in the finger here, which is an octave for the second finger. So this is the octave, then the other two come in. This is the 2 shape, this is the 1 shape. That makes actually then easier to not play the trebles at all. One of my frustratingly good but also classic traps of 2 chords only. If you've got any ideas for this, please share it. This sounds so intriguing to me though, so interesting, when other ways of playing somehow feel a bit overdone, maybe a bit cliche, a bit too standard. It doesn't give you enough creative outlet, whereas this lets me just go crazy. Let's see if I remember this. How do you want me? You know I'll shed my skin for you, and bend and twist my state into more a palatable form. I'll suppress my reason, I'm choosing to believe in, but the notion is absurd. You're gonna be a game changer. I don't know what you. That fluff threw me off, and I haven't played this in a while. I messed my words up too. So yeah, I really like the lyrics to that kind of song that wrote itself in 10 minutes. So you can do a lot if you're just messing around. As I say, the guitar is just there. It's not precious, it's not divine, as beautiful and as magical as it is. Unless the entire point is that the guitar is divine, fair play, but for my process it's just to get to the song. And then later on in the production and in the recording and some development, if you really laser focus on the composition, you can get rid of the guitar or improve it or whatever. But for now, just finish the song, get the song going, you know, something new all the time. And there's very little else to tell you. Like when I'm playing this song here, it's just a combination of those things. So when I play this, you know, that seems like a really strange chord, but this is like this typically actually the song is 2 down, because I learned it whilst I was I wrote it whilst I was learning Ben Harper's Please Me Like You Want To. So these shapes, if you want to know what any of these shapes are, by the way, just tag me and say, hey, what the hell is that? And I'll tell you. It starts on 10 and then it goes 10, 10, so that's just a 0 shape. And I just shove the 1 here, so you can do this. Then I come here and I turn a 1 shape, and this is the 4-finger shape, but it's also got your 0 here. So even though it's 4-finger, it's still only a 3 to me, because it's just a 1 shape plus a 2, 1 shape plus a 0, plus a -1 here. And then this next one is a 6, 5, 3, 2, which is a 1 shape plus a 2 shape plus a 1 shape. Reverb. really helps with this piece. And not bending your strings off the fretboard helps. It's because I'm trying to play in a really gentle, quiet way. And I'm tired, I've done an hour's worth of recording. So kinky is a concern, like, did you slip off your meds again? I love this song. You're nasty, you're filthy, you need to go take a bath. So gross to the most, like you were fucking raised by wolves. Proven ground. Same position, but same location, but moved. Weird chord. That's higher 3, 4, 5, 6. So anyway, you know, this is just all that stuff I'm doing, and this actually is really interesting because it's an octave here, and I don't think it's quite an octave here, but I think that would be an octave. So yeah, this is just the way that I play. I know it's a bit strange, maybe a bit hard to do sometimes. Certainly it's challenging for me, like my fingers don't, you know, I mess up a lot because some of the things I'm doing are just a bit too complicated even for me. But I like to get a groove this way, I get some really weird jazzy stuff, you know. Or this happens. So I kind of want to show you can intermix these things. Very few of my songs are just standard. Although I do like to play with that every now and again. But I'm really, really bad at it actually. Don't really know how these things connect, which is kind of funny. When you don't watch the tutorial, you end up really good at a game anyway. So I can play that way, but not very well in bar chords. I don't really want to play bar chords, to be honest. I like the weird sounds I create, and I hope that you do too, and I hope that you've learned something. And anything of all of this stuff I've mentioned that you would like me to expand on, or expose more of, or do more of, or finish, or release a video dedicated to each individual song in a bit more of a fleshed out kind of a thing, then I'll do my best. I keep banging my piano, which I criminally never play. But yeah, I just wanted to mention this is a self-looping guitar in case you don't know. It's called the High Vibe. Best thing I ever bought. It's by Larg, and the High Vibe is a special preamp. I'm not trying to sell it for them or anything. It's an incredible piece of equipment. But for me, with my ADHD, it's like hands down, like with my Soundburner metronome watch that vibrates and flashes, which I can use to remember how long a second is, and then slow myself down. You'll see me wearing that sometimes. I've got a lot of learning equipment and technology like Fret Lite and Fret Zealot and LED systems in the fretboard, and MIDI systems and stuff. I've got a weird double-sided guitar over there. I'm going to get through all of that stuff and all the different ideas because I've got a vision of a special instrument I want to make that's kind of making everything accessible to me through my iPad, using a Jouet Play MIDI controller, you know, using a loop pedal that's all portable, and I don't ever have to plug in, and I can just pick it up and do whatever I want. But that's another chat for another time. And if you want to see and hear and understand more about these things, like the way it loops, if you want me to try and do the loops and show you the Bluetooth MIDI pedal that you can get for it, and explain all the limitations I've noticed and other such things, then I'll get round to that. But also, it's easier for me if you just ask, because otherwise you're kind of going against a million things at once up here. And that's one of my main things I'm doing this for, is hopefully to get that feedback and that kind of community thing, and just a little bit of help and support and direction from other people who can think in that way and I can't. So thank you very much for watching my first 3 videos, and I hope that that's made sense. Anything that hasn't, ask me to expand on, or otherwise do a better job of explaining. And I'm happy to try. I'm even happy to do one-on-one video calls. Happy enough to do it, especially if you're not very nice. But my biggest hope is to show people that you can learn guitar entirely through trial and error and even get some interesting sounds. Maybe you won't play blah, 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 super fast. Maybe you will. I don't know. You could probably beat me at this. You know, I'm not that studious, to be honest. I just walk around and play my guitar. Took it with me everywhere for 15 years. Very, very few days I go without it. I also always record, and having a guitar that self-records is a... Gone are the days of me with my phone sat on my leg and falling off on the bus, and there's a lot of background noise because I didn't have better equipment. Now it's just built in. Yeah. So this is beautiful. I've been waiting for the this to be created. I had the tone wood as well, and I can tell you the difference between the two of those things. I'm gathered. I've got like I could probably charge like entrance fee for my flat. It's got such interesting things in it. But yeah, I think that's everything for those things that I need to show you. I'm going to rewatch these and then probably take them down and hide them away or shove them in a little bit of a... These are now outdated. I think I will have my offcuts, as a playlist, because I don't want to hide any of my process, including all the iterations of my attempt to say hello, which is about 5 or 6 of them by now, to be honest. So I'm going to say goodnight, and thank you very much for indulging me. And I hope that you've learned that you can do it. You don't need talent. I promise you, I'm going to prove to you. I started really bad, and some days I still am because I get amnesia, right? Which means my brain cannot process information as musical, and I'll be sitting here going like, is it out of tune or what's going on? I know I'm in time, and my brain can't hear it. There's always a workaround, and there's always, you just got to change your angle, So yeah, maybe you can't do this, you can't do that, but there's a lot of things you can do, and if you do focus on those things, you end up being able to do things other people can't do because they don't have the drive, they don't have the barriers, and then maybe that equals something unique, or at the very least gives you a bit of enjoyment for the easiest. Look at the economy of motion here. My fingers are barely moving, even though this is a crazy stretch, but in 3 and especially in 2 finger and 1 finger, you can write thousands and thousands of songs. And then you can just accompany yourself with your loop. You don't need to always do everything all at once. The beauty of technology. That's me and my rants over. Always hit record. Don't even doubt it. Learn to hit record. Screenshot every freaking spelling mistake you ever make. You have no idea what the future version of you is going to make of it. And that's what I try to tell people. Just trust that you are capable 10, 15 years down the line. Or even the next day, or maybe someone else right? Because they're like, hey, I just thought of this weird word. What does that sound like to you? Maybe they're into D&D, like I've been getting into. They're like, oh, that sounds like a weird, like orc kind of, not quite an orc, but it kind of, that's a great place to be. And if you're just at the start of your creative journey, I want to inform you, I was not a creative child. I was locked down in a lot of I read a lot of things, and I wasn't that creative. I was scared to express myself. I didn't really trust my feelings because of everything I'd been through and my neurodivergency. And I was someone very logical, very pattern driven. And I was like, do I even have feelings? Sometimes, So I'm an ally, and I'm here to try and share with you that you really can become more robust, more Jack Black. That is an amazing image. Maybe that's going to be the thumbnail. By the way, you are going to be seeing that my thumbnails show my onesie character, and I'm going to try and change onesies, partially because, to be honest, it gets warm, and they're going to get smelly. I've got about 20, so I'm going to try and keep that. That's about as much format shifting as you're going to get, and changes of angles, because I'm probably going to do these in a burst. So yeah, I'll try and keep it entertaining or interesting for you as best as I can. And thank you. I'm now rambling. What we're going to do is, right, we're just going to, in the comments, say, right, so he rambles, ignore this, skip the next 3 minutes because he just rambles, right? Do that for me, just little timestamps, skip these, and we'll kind of calibrate from there to a more optimized experience, rather than editing, because editing is time and energy and space and all that stuff that I don't have. So yeah, that's everything. Yeah, finally. 15 years I've been trying to freaking record this. 10 years at least. The sound of the boiler has probably been interrupting me the whole time, hasn't it? It's fine. It's fine. It will be fine.